The extruder has a nozzle that extrudes the ice cream mix onto a conveyor belt. Then, the ice cream sheets are cut into pieces by a cutting machine. The cutting machine has a set of blades that can slice the ice cream sheets into different widths and lengths, depending on the desired shapes. The conveyor belt moves the ice cream sheets to a freezing tunnel where they are hardened by cold air. It's amazing. Now you know how much skill and technology goes into making your favorite ice cream packages. The baby spinach is harvested by a spinach harvester, which is a machine that can cut, collect, and transport the baby spinach. The spinach harvester has a cutter bar that moves along the ground and cuts the baby spinach at the base. Laser crafting requires a special machine that can generate and control a laser beam. The machine also has software that can create and edit the design. The hot dogs are fed into a cutting machine, which can cut them into different lengths and diameters, depending on the customer's specifications. The cutting machine has a set of blades that can rotate and move up and down, cutting the hot dogs with precision and speed. This is a process that makes it easy and convenient to enjoy pomegranates. It involves packing the pomegranate arils, which are the edible seeds, in plastic molds that have the shape of the fruit. The plastic molds protect the arils from damage and contamination and keep them fresh and tasty. Thanks to this awesome machine, we get our favorite candies in perfect little bites. It's quick, it's neat, and it's super clever. It's like the machine has a magic wand, but really it's a nozzle, and it goes over each cup, pouring just the right amount of cream. That's a wrap for today, but if you want to watch more videos like these, you can find us here. Donut glazing machine is a machine that can apply a thin and even layer of glaze on donuts, making them shiny, sweet, and irresistible. The tube filling machine has a nozzle that fills the tubes with the right amount of face wash from a tank. Kneading helps to incorporate air, flavor, and color into the candy. It also prevents the formation of large sugar crystals, which would make the candy grainy. Then the candy is cut into pieces using a cutter, and there are a lot of them. blades can be adjusted to cut the pasta sheets into different widths and lengths, depending on the type of pasta. The fruits are transported to a sorting line where they are inspected and graded by optical sensors and cameras. Then all of the fruit goes through the blades to cut them into chunks. The sorting line can detect the size, shape, color, and quality of the fruits and separate them into different categories. The chunky syrup is a thick and sweet liquid that contains pieces of fruits. The chunky syrup is poured into pouches, where they are sealed and labeled. The paper is loaded into the machine, either manually or automatically. The machine has a clamp that holds the paper firmly in place. The steel bottles are cleaned and dried to remove any dirt, oil or dust. Then they are sprayed with a thin layer of primer which helps the coating to stick to the metal. Next, the steel bottles are sprayed with a colored coating, which can be any shade or hue that the customer wants.
If we need to make that yummiest jam, we probably should focus on the healthy growth of the fruits too. Now this matter is being set under a strict guide, but yeah, giving those pots the healthier and fluffy mud with the precise amount of materials. Now these robots start at the bottom by planting strawberry plants in containers or pouches. Water is essential, so they water each pot carefully to keep the strawberries happy and hydrated. When the strawberries grow big and red, it's time to pick them. For this purpose, this gigantic robot activates its clutches to delicately pick the ripened strawberry only. Since they're on different levels, it's easy to reach and pluck the delicious berries. This entire automation is so beautiful and satisfying. How these robots peculiarly pick up the strawberry from the stem and cut it without harming it. In botanical terms, berries have their seeds inside the flesh, but strawberry seeds are on the outside. So they didn't consider it in a berry list? Those fresh strawberries have arrived at their final destination, and here they will get even royal treatment. Just a little stop for weight check. Once they make sure the demanded number of strawberries has arrived, they take them to the sorting units, and you better know what's going to be here with them. Of course, keeping you in mind, they're going to take that slack of strawberries for manual check and make sure that only good quality strawberries are going further. Once they're sure of that, they let them pass on until they reach safe hands. Yup, these people are going to place each strawberry in that mold for the game-changing results. These robots automatically detect the green hull of a strawberry and beautifully just remove it without harming any other inch of the fruit. This is mind-blowing. Everything is under mechanical control. You can see how sharp eyes they have. Come on, they're doing this for you. Strawberries grow close to the ground, making them more susceptible to dirt, sand, and even tiny insects. The first wash, often a combination of water and little vibrations, removes these surface impurities. That's very important, but you know, fruits and veggies like these need another bath too. That's why they're giving them the second wash, often involving specialized sprays or misting with solutions like chlorine dioxide, which takes care of the tougher particles like pesticide residues and bacteria. This double-troubled approach ensures the strawberries are as clean and safe as possible. They care about you. We care about you. See how honored we are to have you, just like these red, juicy strawberries. These fresh strawberries are now put into these containers. Yup, that's how you get the true and fresh flavor of frozen strawberries, because they are the same as, what to say, straight from farms to your plate. They are packed and firmly sealed to lock the pulpy fruit inside the food-grade containers. Just check out that a large number of the cans. Secondly, they use some of the frozen strawberries to make that glittery, yummy strawberry jam. All these frozen berries are put into the carriers to take them to the next stop, which is to load them into a container to add further ingredients. As the strawberries are loaded now, it's turn to add further ingredients like sugar. They make sure the jam looks good, tastes good, and has the perfect texture. Once the handsome amount of sugar is poured, they need to control those figures and machines' capabilities by playing with some important buttons. The hot water tub is ready for these beautiful entities to enter and get bathed in the sweet syrup. What are they peeking at? Okay, the real drama has just begun. Once all the pulp comes to mix in that syrup, they put that material through sieves. This is important to give you that pulpless, smooth, jiggly jelly jam. Mixing, mixing, and more mixing. Everything is heated up in big pots or machines to make the strawberries blend and taste awesome. A special thing called pectin is added to make the jam just the right thickness. It's time to cook the material until it reaches its perfect texture. And that desired texture can be seen here. I think it's done. Yup, he's gonna test the jam base, if it's ready or needs to be cooked more. And yeah, it's good to go. Now the final process begins to churn the mixture to add a little more smoothness and to cool it side by side a little. Now it's like letting the flavors and textures settle and become best friends before they get packed into jars. And just wait, here we go. The whole warm jam base is ready. More close-up? Here it is. That creamy, smooth flow of my favorite jam, it's driving me crazy. Okay, time to pour that base and lock it in the jars. For that, these empty and starving bottles arrive that are first neatly organized properly. The jam is carefully poured into jars, all by itself. This process is usually automated in factories, with machines making sure each jar gets the right amount of fruity goodness. Here we reach their sealing stage, where lots of lids are first picked in a proper style, which is beautifully conveyed to the roller coaster sort of belt, and finally to the sealing section, where machines tightly seal the jars with lids. Okay. All those bottles are washed after being tightly sealed, so that whatever sweetness remains on the outer side of the jars will be bathed away. We're now in the sticker sections, where the robots will conveniently wrap stickers around these bottles, so you will easily identify it's factory sealed and of course read that chart before eating anything. It's a good habit though if you do. Well, I don't, whereas there's another technique too to add the labels. One by one, all the bottles are labeled from whatever company they belong to, and then piled up in the containers for the final bulk packaging. Bye-bye jam bottles. Don't forget my address and reach me soon. These mini jam bottles are filled up with the same freshness of fruit pulp and flavor to enrich your taste buds. Those little nasty jam packets. You know, the ones at restaurants, tucked next to the bread basket, bursting with fruity sunshine in one tiny bite. They're more than just sugar bombs. Might be tiny, but they're full of flavors to serve as starters for every meal. Also, these bite-sized marvels help stop food waste and make sure every spoonful is just right. Jam's ready? Talk about its best buddy, bread.
Let them dip those sweets into a stream of smooth, rich chocolate with the chocolate extruder. Explore the efficiency of the mince extruder, a machine that brings a new level of creativity to food production. It skillfully turns meat into wavy noodles and then arranges them into neat round and square shapes. Placing the cabbages onto each mold, I must say something challenging is coming ahead. Machines like these are specialized to hold the hard vegetables firmly so they can remove the unnecessary part from the worthy one. They cut the cabbages into halves so they can easily remove the hard core, and the rest would be easily chopped later. Just bake these sweets. Now they are preparing them for packaging. Don't worry, it's going to be fun. As soon as the bunch of specific counts of these cakes, they are conveyed to the further belts, so within that process, they could get time for cooling down before they reach for packaging. And the magic is about to happen. You can see within nanoseconds all of these cakes will be packed and sealed, all thanks to these marvelous mechanical creations. They need an eagle eye to find the distorted or bad seashell from this bunch. It's a whole new belt that receives and pre-washes the shells with a continuous strategy that separates and extracts the debris. The machine gently squeezes and rolls it like playing with Play-Doh, and out pops dough balls. All the same size and perfectly round. It's super fast and makes every ball look the same. No more funny shaped rolls or bread. This makes the candy mass fluffy and smooth, means stretching and folding it repeatedly to make it more elastic and glossy. This splash of beautiful coloring gonna make sure the foam sack created will be that glowy and smoothly blended. It will enhance the overall appearance of the heavier foam sheets. Just take a look at it. The fish deadening machine is a machine that extracts the fish meat from the bones and the skin. It has a conveyor belt that moves the fish to a deadening chamber, where a screw press separates the meat from the bones and the skin. They are going to use this cherry pitting machine to remove the seeds from the cherries without damaging the flesh. It has a conveyor belt that moves the cherries to a pitting chamber where a needle pierces the cherry and pushes out the seed. After they add the scouring pad to the sponges, they have to pack them and store them in a proper way. The veggies are transported to a washing station where they are sprayed with clean cold water. Cold water keeps the veggies crisp and vibrant. The water also helps to remove any dirt, insects, or other residues from the veggies. The fish that has been cleaned, scaled, and deboned is placed on a tray and fed into the machine. The machine has a set of blades that are arranged in an upper and a lower group. A waffle lollipop making machine is a machine that can make waffles on a stick, also known as lolly waffles or cake pops. The mold also has holes for the skewers, which are inserted into the batter.
If you want to know how satisfying and hygienic the bread making process is, or still didn't notice our Coca-Cola's entire factory making videos, we're right here.